Hello, Devlin Bishop here with you, and welcome to another edition of Devlin's Pirate Radio Show. The new year is in full swing, and I've got new episodes coming up for you. I'm going to keep doing this. Nobody's telling me to stop. No one's telling me to continue. But actually, that's not true. I've had a lot of people tell me they still listen to the show regularly, and I still bump into people that, tell me they've listened to the show. And that's mind-blowing to me. So I'm going to keep doing this. It's been good therapy. It's, kept me sane. So let's keep doing this. And just hope I don't run out of things to talk about. And a lot of you who know me are probably giggling right now because they know that I can talk about anything. Well, not anything, but I'll never run out of things to talk about. I'll just keep rambling on. So stop giggling. We know you're right, but that doesn't mean you have to laugh about it. Anyhow, it's a new year, and I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about decluttering, streamlining, changing things up in your life and stuff, because January tends to be the time, or the new year, just in general, where people, just decide that they want to, make life easier. We're going to work on things. Now, whether they're successful or not, that's not what I'm here to talk about. It's a good thing to at least make those moves, because even if you just, get into it a little bit and then you stop and then forget about doing it, that's okay. Don't feel bad if you abandon things. Just be happy with the successes you make. And I think it's got to be a common thing. Now, I always do this. Some people call it spring cleaning. Some people call it, but I usually do it before spring because I like to go out and enjoy the weather and stuff when the nice weather comes. So I think, before that is a good time to do it. And, after Christmas, Christmas is this big to-do, and then there's almost like a deflation of the balloon or whatever you call it, because all of a sudden, there's no celebrations coming up. There's, nothing to look forward to. Not saying there isn't, but you know what I mean. There's all this ta-da, and then at the end of it all. So I think this is a good time to, streamline, declutter. And I think other people obviously do it, because when I go to stores like Walmart or Giant Tiger, you notice that suddenly, the two things you see in retail stores when the new year starts, and that is fitness stuff like DVDs, weights, stuff like that, because I know people are making the resolution, I'm going to lose some weight. So now suddenly you see all of that. And the other thing is you see containers and, big Rubbermaid bins so you can put things away. And so I decided that I started really early. I actually, on my birthday, I decided to reorganize my movies and stuff and get all the ones that I hadn't put in order yet in a place. And so I did that. I always feel good. It's always a little bit of work, but I enjoy it actually. It's, it keeps me, sane and stuff. And then Mike's, he's always puttering around. He doesn't have to have a certain time. He's always, streamlining the place. And usually what we've done the last couple of years, and we haven't done it yet this year, but I know we're going to do it soon, is we go around the house and decide some of the changes we want to do. Now, we're not necessarily talking big changes, though last year we did do a lot of painting and stuff. But we'll go through and say, I think it's time we get a new cabinet or something doesn't look right. And this year, I think we've already picked out a couple projects. We just haven't officially gone to do it. And I've actually saw that this year I'm streamlining a lot of my life, or whatever you want to call it, decluttering, whatever. I'm doing it with all aspects in my life. I'm even doing it, I'm going past just the cleaning aspect. I'm trying to do, I am a creative person, and I love opening up folders and stuff, on my computer, and I have little things in them, and I have a ton of stuff, and so I'm even gone to the point of streamlining all that stuff now, trying to get everything a little bit. I'm just trying to make my life simpler. I feel as I get older, it's like, why am I doing something 3 steps when I just have to put a little effort and work in it, and then I can just do 1 step, So stuff that I've been putting off, I'm trying to actually get done. Even like this podcast. I've gotten lazy on my podcast. I usually always did my podcasts early the week before it actually aired. And now I'm getting closer to when we edit. And I've been, I've had it up to like just a couple of hours before we edit. I whip something together. I usually know way in advance what I'm going to talk about. But, it's not just me, but though I do blame a little bit about me. Because sometimes, with, retail schedule, you're working all over the place. You gotta, like, get the co-hosts in. You gotta find time that works with them. I don't get my schedule till a week before, which means that, I'm trying to, juggle everything. Then there's people I haven't seen in ages that starting the last couple of weeks, I've literally, okay, this is a person I definitely need to see. This is someone I've really neglected, and I have to go out of my way to find a time. Like, because that's just it. I hate when you get people that are like, oh, we really should get together, and then you procrastinate, and you put it off, and that. I want to be more of a thing. Like, if somebody says, hey, we should get together, I want to send them dates. I want to do it. I want to do it immediately. I don't want to just put it off, and then I feel bad because a couple months later, I read a post on Facebook that says, oh, it's so horrible. I haven't, how many people I've lost. And then I feel guilty because, I'm the kind of person that, and I hate to admit this, but it goes well. I didn't get to mention this on Facebook. I don't know if it's ego or if it's just low self-esteem. I don't know what it is. But when I read a status that is vague about people, I always think it's about me. Yeah, I hope there's others that feel that way too, because of the fact that I'd like to think I'm not alone in this, but I do feel kind of stupid because somebody will say something like, I'm tired of all the assholes in the world. And then I literally like, are they talking about me? No, they can't be talking about me. I barely know this person, and why would they be talking about me? But, it's for a split second, I feel guilty. So, I'm trying to, when people say, let's get together, I do remind them that I am busy, but I don't want to be that I'm too busy for other people. I posted something recently that I just said, make time for the people you love and the things you like to do. You should always make time for the things you love. I don't care how busy you get. Find a little time each week to do something you love. And I don't mean just, well, yeah, you can if it's going to the movies or watching a show you like, but don't forget the people in your life. It's so easy. And I find the thing I love is we live in a world where we kind of, lack really respect for TV and stuff. I know we're in a golden age of TV, but we binge watch, which I'm not the biggest fan on it. I do it. I'm guilty of it. But, and we can put the TV shows aside whenever we want to see them. And, so we can watch them at our convenience. And yes, that's great. We can do that. But at the same time, it was something cool when you knew the whole world was watching a show at this time. And then, you could talk about it the next day. Now it's like, well, don't talk about it because I've DVR'd it and I probably won't get to it till April. So, it was, event television you used to always watch, and that was, we gotta watch it tonight, because that's the only time we got it till it comes out on video or something. But anyhow, so I'm streamlining my personal life too, as in I'm trying to really focus on things I really want to do. Now this is also the power of saying yes and no, which means I really have to make the decisions. As in, I might get a couple of invitations, and sometimes I felt obligated to go to things, but I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I really want to do this, so I'm going to work hard to get that done. I'm going to have to say no to this. I'm not certain about it. Before, in the past, if I was not certain about something, I'd go. Sometimes I'd wind up having a fantastic time, happy to go. Other times I was just like, I shouldn't have gone. It was a waste of my time. It was horrible and that. But now I'm really not afraid to say no. No. And sometimes I won't give a reason. Sometimes it's work-oriented, and I'll say it's, my schedule just doesn't call for it. Other times I'll just be selfish and say no. But I weigh every situation. I want you to think, I'll probably not get any invitations to anything anymore. But no, I really do weigh the options. Like, if I get like a nice invitation from somebody, sometimes I'm like back and forth, like, oh, I'd really like to see them. I bet you lots of other friends will be there. And then I weigh the pros and cons. And so now I'm streamlining, as in, okay, I really need to see this person now, and I got to call them and make arrangements. And thankfully, a lot of people get that my schedule's a little crazy, so I've been doing like, coffee, meetings. I've been doing breakfast meetings, and I think people don't really care what time it is as long as you go out there, I've met people on their lunch hour just to even see them for a little bit. So anyhow, all of this is all about streamlining. Even, the podcasting, I'm trying to get back in. Like, I was putting this one off, like, oh, no, I can do that little thing. And then I got to a point where I like, no, literally, have you seen your schedule? When are you podcasting? 3 a.m. on Saturday night? Because you don't have time. So I literally decided, okay, I'm going to put everything aside. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm happy to. I like this time. But I like the whole decluttering thing. I got to start doing it more. Like, I'm not a hoarder by any sorts. And I've only met a few hoarders, but I haven't, it's not like I've gone to their homes. A couple people have come to me and say, I had a really good friend who said, my mom's a hoarder, and I don't know what to do about it. And it was like to the worst, like you'd see on these hoarder shows. And I realized that there's a lot of people out there that do this, and it's hard for them to declutter. I know people that have been trying desperately to get past their issues and get rid of stuff. And it's been an ongoing process. And I just want to say I feel for you out there. I've been getting a lot better over the years. I used to collect a lot of stuff. I am a collector by choice. I collect like toys and, DVDs. Anybody who's come over to my house has said, wow, you like DVDs. I go, yeah, that's just some of them. But I used to collect other stuff like magazines and, just old stuff that I never would look at again. Anyhow, I'm going to, I've been gotten better in the last couple of years of like really looking at stuff and saying, okay, I don't use that. I don't need that. I don't need that as a memory. And then other stuff, it's like, no, I do want to hold on to that. Because it is tough. And I could imagine if you have that kind of hoarders kind of thing that you can do that. But I realize now that there's no reason for it. And I'm going to get better with that, and I plan to do that a little bit more. And I got rid of a whole bunch of my VHS tapes. Now, I had held on to these for a very long time, and the strange thing is I didn't even have a VHS machine. I don't know why I held on to them for so long, but it was just something I did. I collected DVDs and Blu-rays for years, but still I hung on to these VHS, and they just took up some space. And so now it's like, no, last year I finally got rid of them. I parted with them. Mike helps me a lot, but he's not the kind to push me to do it. He, he'll, maybe it's a good idea we do this. And it really is. It is. You have to declutter sometimes. They say that, people who buy a lot of clothes, that you should eliminate stuff from your clothing regularly. Some people say different things like flag things, and then 6 months later, if you haven't worn it, there's a good possibility you haven't worn it. Maybe you can leave it up to a year because it might be a seasonal thing. But, get rid of that stuff, donate it places or, whatever you want to do with it. See if anybody would want it. Like you might have some friends that, might like that kind of stuff. And then, you're making room to buy new stuff, stuff that, you will wear and stuff. So there's always places in your house to declutter. I have a desk that I'm going to take on this year. It's a beautiful desk. I've had it for a long time. Actually, it might be Mike's desk. I can't remember. Yeah, I think this is Mike's desk. But anyhow, we've had it for a long time, and basically, I don't sit at the desk that often. I use the chair sometimes, but I'm usually standing up to get a light bulb or something. And all that's really, it just holds paper and junk and stuff. And I'm thinking, Mike came up with the idea, like, we could get a cabinet or something that could hold all this stuff and then, make room. And I'd always put it off. Like, that's a great idea. We'll do it. But we haven't done it. I'm working on doing it now. Now that I'm seeing my office as a studio, I really am. I'm calling it the studio and stuff, and I'm really working on getting this place. We put up a lot of nostalgia up here, and lots of people like to come in and look at all the stuff. But it's a work in progress, and we're gonna do it. I vow I'm gonna not be here next year talking about this desk that I have to get rid of and declutter, and there will be a new cabin. I vow. Unless I really can't find a cabin. No, we are gonna work hard to get something to take the place of this, because really it's just a holder for all my crap. Right now it's an absolute mess. I have a co-host hopefully coming in next week. I'm going to have to clean it up a bit because I don't want people to think I live in squalor. I don't mind if they see my house is a little bit messy. I actually like when I go into people's houses and it's not like filthy, but I don't judge people. I'm just like, it's nice to see when it looks lived in. When I go into a house that looks like a showpiece, I'm afraid to be comfortable because I'm afraid I'm going to spill a drink or leave a ring. Do you have coasters? Do you have something I can put? But when I go into a house and it looks lived in, I like that. It's wonderful. And, I felt bad for these people who deal with hoarding because they're obviously can't entertain. And there was a time that my place, not when I lived here, but when I had my own apartment, it was a real mess. And I'd have my closest friends come in, but I was always afraid to bring new people in. And now, the last couple of years, we just love entertaining, and we love that, even though when I say my house is a mess, Mike says it's never that bad, though. It looks maybe lived in, but it's nothing that we can't fix up in an hour or two or something. And I love entertaining people. I love that I can have co-hosts come in and I'm not worried about it, where before the anxiety of, oh my God, I have to have someone in my home. I can imagine what that's like for, hoarders and stuff like that. And I say that if you are in the process of it and maybe you're having a really hard time with it, just always concentrate on your successes and not your failures, what I haven't done. If you clean out a box a day or a week, whatever, month, concentrate on what you've done. Yes, you still have a lot more to do, but don't kick yourself for it. You're moving forward. Always be thankful that you're moving forward. Anyhow, that's what I plan to do in all aspects as I streamline, declutter, whatever I call. One of the things I do look forward to, as I've mentioned, I've got kicking around some plans for this show. I'm going to unveil some of that. Coming up next, we're going to take a short break. Hello, and we're back on Devlin's Pirate Radio Show. And I've been talking about that I've been kicking around some new ideas for the show, and I'm not trying to change the format in any way. I'm trying to figure out of ways that I could use podcasting. And I'm not, this isn't like that humorous thing I did several shows ago. This was some serious stuff not serious, but you know what I mean. Things that I wanted to do. We've had a couple of ideas that have happened, and then one just kind of fell in my lap, and I like those the best because I don't have to work so hard for them. Hey, I get lazy sometimes, what can I say? But anyhow, we've talked about lots of things that we might try. With my love of movies, I'm thinking of maybe reviewing some cult movies and, being able to use footage, something like that. Taping my voice and then playing it over the trailer. We've talked about just kind of doing a rap session, getting a couple people in here and just talking about whatever. I've talked to a couple people who'd like to do maybe some specialty things where we watch a movie and then we talk about it after. Lots of little different things, but right now it's all been talk, I've even had some people suggest things to me that they're interesting. One of my co-hosts, I won't name, said that he thinks that I should do a live version of this, as in just, have a couple of guests, talk about stuff, and just do it on stage. I think this is their attempt at getting me back on stage, which I didn't mention in my streamlighting part, because I was talking about decluttering so much, is that one of the things I do plan to do is try to get out there more. Not just, meeting up with friends, but trying to get out there, being creative again, and that includes possibly getting back on stage. I'm in the talks now to return to stage hosting a show that I've done many times before. I love doing it. But even if that doesn't happen, I'm still thinking of maybe doing something closer to the end of the year, but it would be in a similar style of my monologue shows, but I don't want to talk about that too soon, but that is in my head. So, But back to the podcasting again, is every once in a while, as I told you, Cord is great with me just saying things. And sometimes I say things and then I forget about it, and she's still working on what I said because she didn't want to drop it. And I guess last year sometime I mentioned, I think it was after I went to one of the art crawls, I said it would almost be cool if there was a way I could, buy a laptop or something and I could just interview people or just talk to them randomly, just pull them aside and do little interviews or something like that. And even though I don't own a laptop and, I don't think I'd be one of those guys to carry my laptop in one of those bags. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. I don't mind carrying a man purse every now and again with certain things in it, but, I don't know, just to carry a computer. I'd always be worried somebody's going to steal it, stuff like that. But I worry about everything, so I don't know why I worry, because, I could have, something small like a, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I could have a pack of gum and I'd be worried I'm going to lose it. Just because I'm just a worrywart. So it doesn't matter the size or anything like that. It's just... So anyhow, I said this, and it was one of the many ideas that I come up with this show all the time. And then, like she did last year, she got me this microphone that opened my world up to podcasting. So I'm always thankful for her to do that. But I think she's gotten a lot out of the show, too. She is my producer, and she edits things, and she does all those pictures. Every time you see any of the YouTube stuff, she is that's her doing the pictures. I'll look at them, and if I find a picture I don't like in it, but I'm usually good with what she picks. And so she's done an amazing job with that. And so I mentioned this. It would be great if I could, go on location. And, well, my birthday came up again, and I got another gift. And she has found a way that we are going to have a new twist to the broadcasting, the podcasting, whatever you want to cast. She got me a little recorder that I can basically now record little segments of just about anywhere. So I can take my podcast pretty much anywhere. It holds quite a lot of things, or just enough what I need. And we were just worried about the sound quality. So I found myself a guinea pig, and we went out, and we are happy to report that we think the sound sounds just as good as what we do here in the studio. I won't tell you where we recorded this or with who. He's new to the show, certainly not new to my life. I've always wanted him to be a co-host, and I put him on the spot and ask him live, but I won't reveal what he said. But, we did a little recording, and I want to share it with you now. This is the very first thing that we are calling Stepping Out with Devlin Bishop. So enjoy. I think we're on.
We are, either way.
Hello, welcome to Stepping Out with Devlin Bishop. I told you we're going to try some new things this year. This is one of them. We're here at the Upper Canada Place in Burlington live, and I'm here with my good friend and guinea pig, because he said he would try this out, and Mike Matich.
Yes, hello.
This is him.
Yep.
And any of the people you hear walking are going to the very busy movie we're going to.
I think we're up to 6 people now. We're getting busy.
We are. We come here a lot. This is where our favorite little theater is.
Yeah.
It's called Cinestars now.
Now it is, yeah.
Yeah, and we used to come here, and then they closed it on us, and then you found out it was open again.
Yep.
We got really excited. I don't know what it is about this place. I think I've been here once before, like in the 90s,
Okay,
but every other time has been with you.
Actually, I think I first saw E.T. here.
Did you really? So it's been around this long?
That's long, yeah.
So this is pretty cool. I'm actually recording here. We don't know if this will turn out, but if you hear it on the podcast, it turned out. Now, you knew I was podcasting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. You've never listened to any of them, though.
I think I've listened to 1 or 2, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
I think I've listened to a few, yeah.
Sweet. I always put people on the spot in that, because I don't mind if you haven't or not. I understand people are busy.
Yeah.
You know, I'd cry if you didn't. But the fact that you said 1 or 2, that's a lot. That's probably more than most of my family.
Really?
So, yeah.
They're not listening?
I don't think so. Some of them say they do. I think some do.
You didn't bring the podcast to Christmas? You should have.
No, we should have. So anyhow, but you are kind of like family, because I call you Dad.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that's weird. Do you remember where that came from?
Yeah, it's when we had Haley, wasn't it?
No. That's when I became anti-Devlin to you guys.
Yeah.
We were up at the cottage, and Leslie and you kind of joked that you'd adopt me.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And ever since then, I called you Dad, and I kept doing it, and you call me son. And I think it's cool.
Yep.
When people say, "Who's your daddy?" I usually say Mike Matich in my head.
Yes.
But anyhow, this is our place. I consider this our place. It sounds weird, because I could come here with anybody, but I'd feel like, where are you? I'd be looking for you, because I'd be like almost like I'm cheating on you or something.
You would be. I'd be very upset.
Would you? But I won't tell him if I ever am. But no, we like this theater because it's a small little theater, and we usually we do double bills.
Yeah, always, yeah.
All the time. And it's one of the few places you can do 2 movies, get your refreshments, and you can still, roughly under $20 still.
Yeah, easily.
Where can you go there? You go to the Silver City, and $20 is your ticket if you go to the 3D
if you're lucky,
and stuff. Yeah. But we have a lot of movies in common. That's why we go to the movies a lot. And you love those B movies.
Oh, the worse the movie, the better, yeah.
Yes. You absolutely adore those Sharknadoes.
The Sharknadoes,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yes.
Recently, Tusk. Tusk's been up there.
Tusk, that is a creepy little movie.
Yes.
I love it.
I just can't believe the stars in that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
What did you think of the Johnny Depp character, though?
I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, I did.
Honestly,
you know what?
not until I think you told me that he was in it.
Yeah, you know what? I remember when that character came on, I kept saying, "Who is that?
Yep.
I know who this is. Who is this?" And I had to actually go and look after. And then I thought, because I think he slows the whole movie down.
Yeah.
But I think that movie is beautifully creepy.
Even the ending, like...
Yeah, don't give away the ending. What, any spoilers here?
No, why not?
This might air, you know. My 23 listeners or whatever I'm up to.
Well, you've got more than that.
Well, last year I was saying 17.
Yep.
I'm just being vain. But it's cool. Is it weird that I didn't want to record in the movie theater? Because I thought, like, they'd think I'm recording the movie.
I think you would have been safe.
Audiobooks. The Peanuts movie. I would have taped that. That would make me happy.
Has anybody actually just pirated just the vocals of a movie?
There's got to be a market for it.
I'm Googling that when I get home.
Deaf people. Oh, no, blind people.
Blind people.
I get those wrong all the time. I don't even know if this is recording, but we have a red light, so that's a good thing. Yeah. That's good. So tell people about you. Now, I've got to tell you, I actually want you to come co-host with me.
Okay, sure.
But this is kind of cool because you're actually doing a new segment. Do you like stepping out with Devlin Bishop, or does that just sound
I do.
like...
It's pretty good.
It's like we're stepping out of the closet together.
Yes. Well.
I don't know if Leslie...
Mom would be upset.
I know, but I think I like your wife a lot because she actually lets you go out. I have so many married friends that I almost have to like sign contracts and triplicate, and they won't let you out. You have 2 kids, but she pushes you out, and we all hang out together too. So that's why I like your wife, because I've lost so many friends to marriage.
Yes.
But you were one of the few I haven't. In fact, I think I've gotten closer to you.
Probably. Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We met through improv.
Yes.
And probably most of my listeners are saying 70% of his guests
are from improv.
We met from improv. And I knew we'd be instant friends because I remember you had just shopped, I think, and you bought Top Secret and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And when I heard those 2 movies, one, not everybody can like Killer Clowns, so the fact that you did made me like you already. And the fact that you even knew what Top Secret was blew me away.
Oh, Top Secret, yeah, that was it's a great one. Killer Clowns, I actually saw it. You know what it was? It was a City TV not-so-great movie.
Oh, just hearing that, isn't it horrible that
it's gone.
TV isn't good anymore like that?
It's true. Yep.
The not-so-great movies were awesome because they'd have the great movies and the not-so-great.
Yep.
And I loved those. I saw so many that, just everybody should see.
Yep.
I'm actually thinking of starting a cult movie thing where I review cult movies because I think there's new generations that don't get cult movies. I don't.
No, and the newer ones coming out just aren't the same.
No, I like the Sharknadoes and I love the first one, but I don't know. They're trying so hard that sometimes they miss the boat.
Well, it's the sequels, right?
It is. Yeah, I haven't seen the sequels yet. You've told me they're pretty good.
Sequel 2 was okay. I still have 3 sitting on my PVR. I haven't had a chance to watch all of it yet.
Well, I'm shocked.
Yeah,
I got a chance to meet Ian Ziering and Tara Reid. I only looked at them across the way.
Okay.
Because they were at the Hamilton Comic-Con, but they were there because of Sharknado. It's awesome that he's made a career out of that,
Yes, returning to being all.
Yeah.
Well, Beverly Hills 90210 was kind of a B show.
I know, but he was still good in it. Yeah. And I think they should do a reunion show. I'm surprised Luke Perry isn't doing these movies.
Well, actually, I just saw a movie that...
He does a lot of right-to-video westerns and stuff. He
does, yeah.
I never would have thought Dylan McKay would be this, I'm a cowboy kind of guy now. And Jason Priestley, I think he's, doing Canadian stuff now. He directs Canadian films.
What's the last thing I saw him? The last thing I saw him was...
and he did a show called...
Jericho, wasn't it? No.
Was he in?
There's one with the virus knocks out all the adults.
And he was in it?
Yeah. It was him and Theo from The Cosby Show.
Theo. It's almost they have to put their names after it and stuff like that. But that's good that they, keep getting work still,
Because they need something to do.
Theo can't exactly wait around for that Cosby reunion.
Especially now.
Yeah, we'll move on from that. I don't want to talk about that because I know there's already some people going, don't mention that Cosby. I still watch The Cosby Show on DVD. Is that wrong?
No.
Because I know once people get into trouble, you're supposed to throw their stuff out and burn it.
No.
But Mike and I closed the curtains and put on a season 1 episode because he got a little preachy near the end. Yep. I don't know if you were a Cosby fan. What shows did you watch as a kid?
Cosby. Oh, Cosby Show.
Cosby Show. You're not that. No. You're younger than me. You weren't watching no Bing Crosby.
No. The Cosby Show, Family Ties, stuff like that. Yeah.
That's cool. You seem like that. Do you ever watch the show Modern Family?
Yes.
Do you ever think Mike and I act like that?
No, actually, I don't think you guys have done it. No.
Yeah, well,
I've seen you guys together.
Because Leslie, I think it was Leslie asked me if I watched that show, and at the time I said no. But last year we started getting into it, and there has been a couple times I've looked over and I just said, "Yeah, that's more." I'm definitely the Cam character.
Yeah, Mike's pretty quiet. Yeah, so
he is, but I'm really the flamboyant. I don't dress as a clown or stuff like that. I don't sleep clown or something. But when I watch that show, I think of you, Phil, as you.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't think Leslie's as edgy. I think she has her moments, but skip past that. But I always think of Phil as you, and that's a compliment because he's one of my favorite characters.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. But
I gotta admit, because trampolines and stuff like that. Yeah, I've done some of those things.
Come on, I'm sure you've thought of tightrope walking and stuff like that across.
I have, yeah. I have to admit it.
So you have any big plans besides coming on my show in the future as an official co-host in 2016?
No, nothing right now. Nothing big. Work, and that's it.
So there you have it. Our very first trial run of a segment called Stepping Out with Devlin Bishop. And we had couple of little glitches. One you probably didn't even notice, but it did end abruptly, and that's we kind of lost the last minute of the interview, which was just me thanking Mike and stuff. And I would like to take this time to thank Mike Matich for doing that. And we are definitely going to keep him on his word for coming in again, because I'd really like to have him here. He's a funny guy and probably one of the sweetest men I know. And I'd love to just hang with him. I like hanging with him anytime. It would be nice to just kind of introduce him to all of you, because he's just that cool. Anyhow, yeah, we lost the last minute, and I think I did it right, but obviously it's possible I could have accidentally lost the last bit of it. But anyhow, we're going to keep working on that, and then who knows, this could mean big things for the show, because this means that, if I'm out and about, like, Hamilton Comic-Con, or if I'm out at the art crawl, or just anywhere, if I'm hanging out at the staircase, I can literally just take out this little tape recorder and tape interviews, or tape just talking with people. Because sometimes I go out with people with coffee, and we have these really great talks, and I think, shit, I wish we did that for the podcast. So, now I'm going to just whip it out and... I will ask permission to whip it out first. I would never just startle someone and whip it out. Okay, enough. I am talking about the little tape recorder that I have and nothing else. But, hey, if you want to think dirty, that's okay too. I'm okay. I'm not politically correct. But this is just such a wonderful thing, and I can't thank Corda enough for bringing yet another dimension. She's done so much for me that I thank her for this. I can't wait to see how we use it. I can't wait to be able to do that. And quite frankly, it should be a lot of fun. And, yeah, so that's that segment, and look forward to more of that in the next little while. Anyhow, I'm going to take a short little break, and then I'm going to take a look at Hollywood musicals. I've kind of been going through watching old Hollywood musicals, and yeah, they just are beautiful to lighten up your life. And hey, I'll talk about it after this next break. Welcome back to Devlin's Pirate Radio Show. I'm going to talk a little bit about some pop culture-y stuff. The last couple months, I've been watching a lot of old school Hollywood musicals. The big MGM dance production numbers and stuff. And I don't know, some people might say I'm living in the past, but being a movie fan, I go through phases. I've been through I gotta watch horror films. I gotta watch documentaries about them. And I guess now I'm going through my musical phase. I have always liked musicals. But, I've never really watched a lot of the old style musicals. And I've been recently getting into like rewatching, White Christmas and Singing in the Rain and American in Paris and just all the really great, some Shall We Dance, Fred and Ginger. And I've actually picked up a set of films which were like kind of documentaries and sort of That's Entertainment, which basically had 3 movies, and then they did one called That's Dancing. And I've just been falling in love with seeing the old style films and how, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those, people that say, oh, they don't make good films anymore. My father used to always say that. I don't say that. I'm not at that point. I still love a lot of modern movies and still think they're making some top-notch movies out there. But I like looking back at the past because the Hollywood musical, even when the musicals come out now, they're more kind of music video-ish rather than, old school Hollywood musicals. But every once in a while they get in there, and like, it's just unbelievable watching these things. Like, just the gracefulness that you see with Fred Astaire. Or Gene Kelly, who's my absolute favorite. He is so masculine, and yet just absolutely phenomenal dancer, and just, and apparently he was a really nose to the grindstone kind of guy, and he choreographed a lot of his own stuff, and he's just phenomenal to watch. And, even some of the ladies like Ginger Rogers or Jane Powell, I might be getting her name wrong, but anyhow, just some of those. And even when they used to do like the big musicals based in water, Esther Williams was like a swimming sensation, and they decided to make a whole bunch of movies around it, and she'd just be jumping into pools or water skiing. It's I love that there was a simpler time that people wanted escapism. Even when they do musicals today, they're usually movies based on Broadway musicals that, they still have to concentrate on a story. Back in the day, MGM would just literally come up with some lame-ass story that was just pieced together by these incredible musical dance numbers, and I've just been enjoying seeing them. Though, I'm a big dance fan. I like watching dance in music videos. I like watching dance in, new movies even. The Step Up series has continually gotten bad, but the dance sequences are still fun and phenomenal to watch. And even Dancing with the Stars, I don't watch it on a regular, but if there's nothing else on and I'm flicking around the TV, I just love seeing the hard work they put into it. It makes me wish I learned to dance more, because I dance, but I'm very freestyle all over the place, and I like to sort of kind of try to recreate moves, but if they don't work, I just make them my own. But I don't know if I would have had that mindset, because, people always go on about sporting events, which, how great shape you have to be, and you do, don't get me wrong. But to be a dancer is just, you have to put so much practice and energy into it. And I think people forget that a lot of the times, which is really sad, because, both are, in my opinion, very solid athletes. You have to be both in excellent shape to do it. But I've been loving watching the old style musicals, and we've been having video parties for a couple of years now, and we didn't do one this New Year's, but we did have some friends over, and we watched some movies, and then after I just put on some dance music, and I decided to throw on one of my That's Entertainments. And, first of all, I was surprised how mesmerized people were with the images. Some of them were like black and white images, Shirley Temple, like just everybody dancing around, Bojangles was there, and people were just mesmerized to watch this imagery, and some of it was just still, to this day, the choreography. A lot of people, like the new modern stuff. I actually really like watching tap dancing and stuff, just because I can't even imagine doing it, It's just so phenomenal, and I think tap dancing has lost its way. I think people don't do it as much anymore, and it's too bad, because I think it's a lost art. But anyhow, I put this on, and people were just mesmerized with the modern music I played, and the old style dancing. And I think the other thing that was amazing was how well a lot of the new stuff fit with the old stuff. It's even old stuff like disco, when you played it on the backdrop of Fred and Ginger dancing, was still so magical and impressive, just how well music and dance work together. It was almost a lesson of, look, this person is doing something that's totally different. We're listening to Uptown Funk or something, and it just magically fits together. If you're a dance fan, there's a lot of YouTube clips that actually mix popular dance sequences with new and modern songs. I know they've done it with Uptown Funk. I know some have done it with, like, Shut Up and Dance. I've seen one to Footloose. Check them out. If you're a fan of dance, it is incredible. Now, these are like tightly clipped things, which still work, but even when we were watching the big Hollywood numbers that were in its entirety to the songs, it's just amazing how even the music and the lyrics fit with what was going on. And it just made me, I don't know, I love music so much, and I love dance so much. I love how they kind of go hand in hand, and not saying that you can't dance without music, not saying, you can play music without dance, but it's lovely to see how they combine and work together. If you like musicals, now some people say, well, I can't watch old movies. I feel sad when people tell me that. Like, I think sometimes when they say it really, like, defining and, like, positive. Like, I can't watch those old movies. I can't watch black and white. And I actually just feel sad for them. I know you're trying to come off as badass, like I only watch new stuff. But you're not coming off as badass, because I feel sad for you, because I think watching old stuff and then watching new stuff, I think there's a comparativeness. You can see that a lot of the people who are doing the new stuff were inspired by the old stuff. So it's sad that you can't take a couple of hours and watch something from the past that inspired people. Even a lot of the dance stuff today is obviously inspired by different things, and they've taken it further. A lot of the modern hip-hop dancing, so many elements were taken from the old stuff. If you can watch old Hollywood movies, definitely take a minute and check it out. I'm sure Netflix is going to carry some of these, but, even if you turn on to the Turner movie classics, it's such a great way to just forget about things. Like, movies have always been, to me, pure escapism. But musicals have to take it even one step further. Because it's one thing when you're watching a gritty drama and you're, like, lost in that world. Or if you're in a science fiction and you're, like, off in space somewhere. The musical just kind of takes you to a place that is even more crazy and endearing, and you get lost in. Because for moments, you think, oh, I want to dance like that, or I'd love to dance with that person. And it's just a lovely feeling to just check out those old movies. And, around the holidays, it was a great time to do it because I was in such positive spirits. There's not a lot of negative musicals. There are some, don't get me wrong, but in the old days, it was just, Judy Garland, Mickey Rooney, let's put on a show! And that's pretty much what they did. And I wish they'd do more of that. I honestly wish they would make more musicals, even if it was edited more music video style, but it would be great to see movies that don't get me wrong, I love plot. I love character development. But you know what? Sometimes I would just like to see stuff like that. There was a lot of success when I played those old clips of the music. I'm actually going to work on making a kind of a mixed video disc of just footage of everything from Michael Jackson dancing to Gene Kelly to just old, Soul Train clips. And, even maybe like 50s and 60s when they were doing like the mashed potato and the twist and stuff. And I'm going to just make a video collection of this and then just play, a mix of great dance music and then just play these at parties because it was kind of fun. Don't get me wrong, I still like doing my video dance parties. For those of you who don't know what my video dance parties are, there's only been a select few have been invited to them because I don't have big parties. So, if you're angry at me right now because I don't remember being invited to a party, I don't invite many people because I don't think many people would get it, and I don't have a big house. So I just invite a couple of friends over, and we basically push the couch aside. I usually have a lineup. I collect music videos. I record them, and then I mix them up, put them on, and then whoever wants to dance dances. Most of the people just watch a couple of us dance, and then they just eat food and stuff like that. But I used to like just playing music and doing that. So it was nice to watch the videos, and it gives people who aren't dancing something to watch. This is something new we'll do, but we'll go back and forth and do both. Mike actually likes them. He is not a dancer. He has danced with me before. We've actually gone to clubs way back in the early days, but I think he was going to clubs because he was still trying to impress me. Because after we kind of got together, it was like, yeah, I don't want to go dancing. I don't want to go dancing. I don't want to go dancing. Every once in a while, he'll surprise me and he'll come over and just kind of take me, and we'll do some over-the-top, ludicrous, old school dancing. But that's about it. But he loves when we get, friends over, when we put the music. And he even said he really liked seeing the old movie musicals with the new stuff. And I like when things like that combine. There's a scene in the movie Xanadu. Spoilers, like, if you haven't seen Xanadu, don't see it unless you see it with me. Because I'll use any excuse. And it's coming out on Blu-ray soon, so that'll even be better. But anyhow, there's a scene in Xanadu where they're deciding what to do with the club that they're going to start. And one wants rock and roll and dance music. And, of course, Gene Kelly wants, a big band. And the old style, everybody in suits and stuff. And they both imagine what the music would sound like, and then they watch as it meshes together. And although Xanadu kind of makes it kind of gaudy with all the colors and stuff, it's still a beautiful moment when it comes together, and you can see when things get mixed around, That's why I like certain things, like with musicals and stuff like that, because they kind of borrow and pay tribute to things, which is really nice. I'm like that with just anything. I like when old meets new, I like when, like a woman wears like a big frilly dress and then wears like a jean jacket on top of it or something. I like when things don't necessarily always have to have meaning. It's just, I don't know, it's the way I've always been. I like when people dance to their beat of their own drummer, I guess is the way to say it. I know I gotten way off track with the Hollywood musicals, but definitely have yourself a night. I definitely recommend you inviting some friends over and, finding some old titles. Of course, some of the best. Singing in the Rain is a lot of fun and some great, great numbers in there. American in Paris, another good one. If you're looking for just, musical spectacle, definitely the old Ziegfeld Follies movies, the melody of, 1936 are always kind of really cool to watch. You can never do wrong with a Fred and Ginger movie. They've had a ton together. I can only think of, Royal Wedding and Shall We Dance, and Top Hat, I believe, is another great one. Judy Garland and Fred Astaire, Easter Parade. Easter's coming up. It's a fun little movie. Holiday Inn has a lot of good dance sequences. One thing I have to say is I was impressed with White Christmas at just how good a dancer Danny Kaye was. Because in the original movie, Holiday Inn is kind of was the first, and then they remade it in Technicolor, which is White Christmas. But they had Fred Astaire in that movie. And when I heard that they were, they couldn't get Fred Astaire, so they got Danny Kaye, I thought, Danny Kaye, like the comedian? And I was impressed when I saw White Christmas at what a hoofer he was, because he was just fantastic. I always used to joke that maybe in my later years I'd learn how to dance and, join the Geritol Follies. I don't even think they're around anymore. That was a group of old people that used to, put on shows. I know they used to do stuff in the Hamilton area, but I don't think they're around anymore. I almost said I think they may have all died off, but not like that, because I think every year they added new people and stuff. But, I don't know if I'd ever professionally learn how to dance, but I hope I keep dancing for a long time. And I figure if I keep watching these musicals, I certainly will want to do this. In fact, I feel like actually wrapping the show up right now, putting on some music, and, dancing around my living room. I think it's going to be one of those days. Anyhow, why don't you join me? Why don't you put on some music that you love, and I don't care. Just dance and do housework, dance and do whatever. Maybe your taxes. A little harder to do, and you probably want to concentrate more. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go do right now, so I'm going to have to wrap up this show. I had another fun one for you. I'm looking forward to more stepping out segments, and it's been a while since I've had a co-host, so we're going to try to get one in here next week. And yeah, I'm going to let you go, and I will talk to you very, very soon.